Now, moving into our session, we're going to get started with Robin Raskin, who's going to be setting the stage for our discussions. Robin is a longtime journalist. She's an author, a publisher, an event producer, and advocate for integrating technology into lifestyle. She was actually one of the early editors of PC Magazine and one of the first women to be involved in technology publishing. Later, she founded Family PC Magazine and helped to create Yahoo Tech, as well as many other tech-forward publications. Robin is the author of 6 books on kids and technology and has appeared regularly on CBS and other TV networks. She has served on the National Academy of Sciences Committee to explore internet safety, is a trustee of the CTA Foundation, and is a director of the Global Industry Council founded under UNESCO. Robin also won a Lifetime Achievement Award from the CTA in 2020. Welcome, Robin Raskin.
Thank you so much for that lovely introduction. So you can tell by the introduction, I've seen this rodeo before, I guess is the way to say it. And so from Web 1.0 to Web 2.0 to now what we're seeing in Web 3.0, it is so vital that we understand both the fundamental concepts underlying things and the challenges that we face. And so I so appreciated the opening comments. And I think my job here today is to take you on a whirlwind tour so that you can see the similarities between existing metaverses, nascent of course, as they grow, and give you a peek at what's to come. So just trying to get my slides moving. There we go. So size of the opportunity, you will hear many numbers batted around. Here are just a few. The market size for building this new metaverse is huge. The job openings, as I like to say, you will not go wrong betting your life on a future job in the metaverse, which is what I used to say about cybersecurity. The 10 most popular cities in the US all have designated chief innovation officers and are all working now to create government metaverse outposts. The promise is vast. It's savings of cost and time, both on an individual level and on a city level, when you don't have to travel somewhere to renew your driver's license or get educated. The scenarios for planning cities, for heading towards the SDGs with carbon neutrality are amazing when you don't have to pick up one piece of real material, but you can play what if scenarios. Tourism, cultural events, education and training. I will go through all of them, but first the ideals underlying them. And as many of you are aware, the metaverse will be based on the blockchain, and that is because it can create an immutable record of all transactions. There are sustainability issues that are being addressed, but it's very important to understand all the metaverses will be based on blockchain. They will all be decentralized, meaning it's not going to be a Mark Zuckerberg or a Jamie Dimon who owns the metaverse and dictates the rules. It will be decentralized decision-making. I will show you in some of my slides about the convergence of digital and physical, because the metaverse does not exist just out there as a place that you go. For the first time, the internet will be a bridge between the real world and the metaverse world. We'll talk about digital twins, and we'll talk about interoperability between worlds. But underlying these principles are enabling technologies. Sort of like if you think back to wearables, what happened? Bluetooth, the cloud, and sensors came together. They all existed before, but the packaging of them created thousands of wearable devices that get better and more precise today. The same thing with the metaverse. Cloud computing, artificial intelligence, machine learning on data sets in the real world, XR, AR, VR, and real life all converging. NFTs, which I'll talk about later, but the notion that there's a utility to things that you own and a proof of ownership in the metaverse, and the fact that most of these are built on gaming engines, whether it's the Unreal Engine or Unity, that understood the laws and the renderings of the real world long before we started creating metaverses. So these enabling technologies you'll see come together in so many different ways. I was just down at South by Southwest, where I got a choice to make my own avatar and use it on my journey through South by Southwest. I chose to look like me, sort of, but you could choose to look like a unicorn or a horse or anything your heart desires. This is Decentraland, one of the largest, most mature metaverses at the time. They've got their own currency within Decentraland. It's called Mana. This was a fashion show that they did where there were actually runway shows, panels. You could buy things, you could try things on, you could meet other people. And what I want to point out is each one of these avatars has spent real life dollars, in this case, Ethereum, to outfit themselves in a way they saw appropriate. So not only are you attending fashion shows, but you are dressing for them in digital clothing that actually costs more than a lot of the real clothing that you own. Estee Lauder was there and did an interesting thing to promote their product, which was to drop NFTs in people's wallets that let their avatars have a glow. And this was to represent their night serum. But it's a way that you can see where brands in the real world are going to work in the metaverse to create a seamless, I'm going to glow in the metaverse and I'm going to buy my Estee Lauder in the real world. Tommy Hilfiger did the same thing. You could buy a sweatshirt out of his fall collection and you could put it in your wallet and it is an NFT. But come the fall, when those objects are in the physical stores, you are invited to bring your mobile device with your NFT into the physical store and get a real sweatshirt. So again, you're seeing the blending of on and off commerce and more examples, again, in beauty and fashion and concerts and entertainment have been way ahead in this field. This is Perfect Core, their augmented reality makeup try-on, but now they're selling NFTs for you to put on your digital persona as you go to meetings. And these digital persona, each one of these looks is about $1,000 American. So they're not inexpensive, and yet they are selling. Entertainment, as I said, has also been at the forefront. This is Roblox, which was traditionally thought of as a kids platform and is now aging up with their audience. Not only can you watch the Little Nas concert and attend as your avatar and dance, but there's merchandise, there's VIP seating, all of the things that you would expect in the real world transferred to the metaverse. Sandbox, a big competitor to Decentraland, has its own currency called Sand. You can buy land. People are hiring architects, real architects from the real world to go into the metaverse world and design their buildings. You can play games, you can store your assets. So again, each one of these lands, I like to think about them more as kind of nation states than one big metaverse. And I kind of liken it to the European Union, that you can travel from one metaverse to another, and that is the interoperability they're working on. So if I buy a Gucci bag in Decentraland, I can bring it with me to Sand. And then again, this idea of, you've all seen Bored Apes. They became very popular as digital NFT artwork that you could own, but you're starting to see the utility. This is the Bored Ape Travel Club. You buy one of these apes and you can stay at these luxury boutique hotels in Bali or Jordan or wherever it is that they have built physical structures. And you can even go to a Bored Ape restaurant now in the real world. So you're seeing this blurring. And at the end, it will actually be, unlike Web 2.0 that sort of hurt local stores and physical brick and mortar stores, this may actually create a flow that's interesting. I think everybody's familiar with Meta. This is formerly Facebook. The Zuckerberg and Meta vision of the metaverse is, first of all, it's torso-less because cameras can only capture your face for the moment. But it is, I could be a real person in real life interacting with these avatar people. The tools like whiteboarding note capturing are all there. And the idea is at first level to begin to replace the office with the work from anywhere concept. And their metaverse does require virtual reality glasses, which does eliminate some people, whether it's for health reasons and nausea or whether it's for economic reasons. Has a place to go in Decentraland. Right now it's proof of concept. You can see Jamie Dimon's NFT, you can see moving tigers, but they're having meetings there, introducing people to the concept of the metaverse. Many of the brands are taking some of the SDGs and using the metaverse to promote their reason for social action. In this case, H&M was promoting recycling. And I'm going to play you, I don't know if this is sounds working, but this is a Accenture's place in Decentraland. It's called the Nth Floor. They built it in Microsoft Altspace. They invite you to sit at home with your goggles on and meet your colleagues. And again, they are preparing their consultancy to go out and work with their clients on helping establish their identities in the metaverse. Governments, and I just want to spend a minute on this because I think it's so important. For the same reasons brands are going there, governments are being very active, at least some of them, in creating participatory governments in the metaverse where they will complement existing governments. So this is Seoul, Singapore, so sorry. And you can actually go there, you can attend a current event, you can attend, you can go to a town hall, you can renew certain papers, you can apply for visas. Many of the functions that you can do in the real government world, you can do in this metaverse world. Barbados is another really interesting application. They could not afford to have an embassy in each country. So rather than do that, they launched the first embassy in the metaverse, where you can learn about how to do business with them, further their economic goals as well as your goals, and do anything that you would do in a traditional embassy, but in the metaverse. The same idea of digital twins holds not just to government, but to factory floors. Why work on prototypes in the real world, which is quite expensive, when you can test an assembly line in the metaverse with artificial intelligence being trained on data sets of vast amounts of information? This happens to be BMW's factory. You can do showrooming. This is a company called Room that comes out of Germany and is doing a fabulous job of prototyping and showrooming things in the metaverse. This is also the Bahamas. And in Seoul, same idea. You can do anything from go to a concert, to hear the town meeting, to find out the Little League schools. So local journalism, which has been hurting for many years, has an opportunity to exist in these metaverses in their respective countries. And I think that is so important. And here's a concert in the Seoul Room. In Dubai, you can actually begin to buy land in their metaverse that corresponds to physical places in Dubai. And the US military, heavily on training in the metaverse so that before you ever enter a fighter plane, you are fully trained on every scenario that could happen. And thanks to AI, this training gets better and knows about your personal style and gets trained on more and more variables as you go. Education in the metaverse, I can't say enough, but if you have had a chance to put on VR goggles and walk through an atom or walk through a cadaver or do a virtual surgery, the opportunities to learn through immersion are incredible. This one happens to be Da Vinci, in case you don't recognize it. And health in the metaverse, again, the UAE is had a big emphasis from their Ministry of Happiness, where you can go visit the doctor in a teleconference setting, in a metaverse setting, and get the basic services that you need. We don't have all the peripherals yet to do a full medical examination, but that will come. So the benefits are many. You bypass bureaucracy. I fully intend to get my next driver's license renewed in the metaverse. You've got an increased presence in the world, even if you are a smaller country. You've got a feedback loop. You know where your users are going. What services are they using? What aren't they using? Where is the UI? Where can it be improved? And you've got concerns that I know our other speakers will mention. The people that you're looking at on this screen are not real. They are synthetic humans. We're going to have to figure out a way to identify, be transparent about what's synthetic, what's not. We know we're at risk of all sorts of new cyber attacks in a metaverse world. And for children, we're already seeing everything from harassment to bullying happening in the metaverse. And I like to end with regulation. We haven't even caught up on Web 2.0's regulation and how we feel Web 3.0 or the metaverse will have a whole new set of concerns and regulations. So I hope that quick walkthrough made it sort of tied some themes together that I think our other speakers will give you more detail on. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Robin, for helping us paint the picture of the metaverse from so many different perspectives. Makes me want to spend some time in the metaverse myself. Looks like fun. So it really helps setting the context for many of the topics we're going to be discussing today in our panel.